Hey guys, it's QuickyBaby and welcome to the second video of my Tank Destroyer 8.7 replay competition. And we are watching Elastic Little Brother. He's from the Southeast Asia server. And he's going to show us a tank that I've never seen before. This is the Valentine AT. This is a tier 3 tank. I know in my last video I said I would show you a tier 4 replay, but I was confused. It's going to be a tier 3 Tank Destroyer replay in the Valentine AT. Now, you know it's quite hard to get a lot of experience at low tiers, so you know you're in for something special. And Elastic Little Brother is definitely going to show us that. So he's playing on the standard Battle of Erlenberg. He's going to be advancing up towards the two original houses which tank destroyers have camped behind since the beginning of the world of tanks. So randomly he just decides to fire there. That's what all tier 3 players do, just to show the enemy that they are serious. I'm only joking. So, let's move into position and get ready to show what this tier 3 British tank destroyer is capable of. Wow, it fires a derpy gun. A derpy gun. A 57mm that does 75 damage with 110mm of penetration. That's fairly nice. The trajectory of the shell, it's very derpy though. Looks like you have to aim quite high on this gun to be able to hit the targets. Quite hard to hit with such a derpy gun blind shots. He's trying to make them happen anywhere. Anyway, I should say. So he tracks the M5 Stuart. Takes it out. Not sure if he got spotted there. No shots seem to be hitting him. I think he was firing through a double set of bushes. So he's got binoculars and a camo net. Now he's trying to work this BDR that's in the open. Decides to shoot the Valentine instead. Puts a good shot through there, the side of the Valentine. Tracks him. Then starts to work the BDR. Wow, this 57mm is doing some good work. Nice shot through the side of the turret there of the BDR. The enemy are being caught out in the open. And this little tank is doing it proud. The Panzer III valiantly decides to ram down his cover there to give the enemies a fair opportunity to take him out. And now, there is a platoon of heavy tanks. Look at this platoon of tier 5 heavy tanks advancing along the north. Great leading shot there. The T1 Heavy got tracked in the open. Elastic Little Brother is now aiming at the rear of the tank. As we can see, whenever he hits the tracks, it seems to stop, apart from that shot. Oh, doesn't quite get the kill on the T1. Not giving quite enough lead there on the Panzer IV. Oh, that's a bit of a poor shot. Calm down, Elastic Little Brother, you can do it. Oh, unlucky. This gun looks quite hard to use. He's putting in some good lead there, though. Just a critical hit, no damage. Oh, dear. Okay. Well, that was a bit of a tricky situation there. That Panzer IV was really far ahead. Quite hard to use this gun. It looks very frustrating to use. He fires in a Prem shell at the AMX-40. Takes him out. Loads regular rounds again. That's a good call there. Everyone knows that the AMX-40 has got some ridiculous armor. And I didn't realize, but with the premium round, this tank has got 180mm of penetration at tier 3. That's simply crazy. This gun platform, it's a Valentine AT. It's an AT gun on a Valentine hull. Interesting. I skipped through this tank, so I don't think I've given it quite enough respect. Maybe I'll have to replay it for the lols. I wonder what its view range is like. Okay, so now he's got a tier 1 heavy and a KV-1. And still that platoon of tier 5 heavy tanks is very dangerous. The Panzer IV that was to his northeast, so to say, is dead now, though. Okay, so Elastic Little Brother has decided that he wants to change the angle, which is the right thing to do. He's going north here so that he can get flanking shots on the enemies, because they're heavily engaged with the rest of his team, which is situated at the DC-7 area. The KV-1 makes a good kill on the T1 Heavy. Now Elastic Little Brother has a tricky situation here because the KV-1 is a very strong tank. There's no doubt about it. He's got to watch out here. This KV-1 doesn't just dive through the rest of his team. And he's loading some Prem rounds here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Puts all 5 of those Prem shells in, devastating that KV-1 and allowing the Churchill 3 to come around the corner and take out the retreating KV-1 tank. Absolutely great result there. This little 57mm with those Prem rounds looks absolutely devastating. 180mm a pen, or 110 with the standard rounds. Pretty brutal. So, now Elastic Little Brother has taken out one of the most dangerous tanks on the enemy team, and there are only tier 4 and below tanks left. He's going after the T-40, caught out in the open, just tracks him, secures the kill though, just before the Matilda is able to. This game is definitely on. It's really close. Very close indeed. Elastic Little Brother is on 4 kills. So really the enemies could be anywhere. I feel that Elastic Little Brother is making the right move here by going along the south flank, stopping to use the bushes, activate his binoculars to extend his view range, and then he'll probably advance again. Yeah, very good. Very good indeed. He is playing it right. He has just got to keep advancing and just try and find the enemies. This tank is definitely not very heavily armored, and he can't stay still for that long because there's an artillery on the enemy team that's picked up 2 kills as well. So he's trying to work with his team. He's instructing them to not cross yet, and he's been spotted. Uh-oh. Evasive maneuvers. He obviously really likes this tank if he's got 6 cents in a tier 3 tank destroyer. That's pretty cool. I like that. Looks like it's one of his favorites, and it must be because he's having an absolute cracking game so far. So Elastic Little Brother got a tell, and that's where 6 cents saved lives. If he didn't have 6 cents, he wouldn't know that he was spotted. He would have probably got killed up on that ridgeline. But now the enemy have seen him, he should be prepared for the fact that quite a few of them will start to gravitate towards his position. So he's going forwards to try and use the bushes to get view range, which is the right thing to do. Always use those kind of bushes along with your binoculars to be able to tell where the enemy are. And great, he's found not only the Valentine, but also the enemy artillery. He puts a kill into the Valentine. His track absorbs a shot from the Hetzer, and he pulls back. He doesn't want to get hit by the artillery that he just spotted on his side of the river. Interesting that the artillery relocated. The enemy artillery must have been thinking that the enemy had taken the north and advanced around. Now, if I was in his situation and I saw that the artillery was here, I would be strongly thinking that the rest of the enemies were around him. Oh, now he's making up for those poor shots earlier, and some great shots there to take out that PZSFL 4B on the move. That was an absolute great result there to take out that artillery. Good stuff. He had to give quite a lot of lead and also adjust for the trajectory of the shell and the fact that there was a hill in the way as well. That was some great shooting to secure his top gun. So an Electo just took out a Churchill 3. Thanks to the binoculars, he's able to spot this Hetzer. Oh, that was a bit of an early shot. He's letting the lead out of the gun. Great shot there. Nice hit. Is he going to go for the blind fire? Tries one blind fire. He goes forwards into the bush to respot the Hetzer. Another nice hit. And his camera rating on this tank is fantastic. That Hetzer didn't spot him. Amazing. Wow. Looks like Elastic Little Brother really likes this Valentine AT, and I can see why. Really good stuff. I'm not sure what the camera rating is like on this tank. I know that the regular Valentine is a light tank, and it gets excellent camera rating even on the move. I'm not sure if the Valentine AT, obviously it won't get the camera rating on the move. Maybe it's got really good stationary camera rating, or even very good camera rating while firing, which is why Elastic Little Brother is happy to sling his shots at the enemy with this 57mm. So now he's got to be thinking, okay, my team are holding the middle of the map. Where are the enemies? Gosh, there's a Marder. Hasn't spotted me quite yet. Missed the first. Need to aim a little lower. Great second. Uh-oh. Come on, RNG, don't do it to me. Seems like wherever he aims, the gun shell doesn't go there. Looks like that Marder was AFK, which is a bit lucky for him. He hides from the enemy. Now they know where he is, though. He's got to be very careful. There is an Electo left on the enemy team, which is a tier 4 tank. And oh god, the T-82 just derped the Matilda down. So the Electo is a very dangerous tank to be engaging with. Firstly, if the Electo is using the little derp that it has, it'll be able to devastate the Valentine AT with its terrible armor on inside that gun shield and being an open top tank as well. Thankfully he's found the Electo, puts a good one in, puts a second good one in, and the Electo only manages to do a little bit of damage to the derp with the track, and he devastates that Electo. This thing has got some serious DPM. Look at that. He absolutely smashed that Electo. Even though it had 270 health, he took it out really quickly. Now he's got to try and work with the Hetzer. And one thing I really like about Elastic Little Brother is he's being really good and supportive to his team in the chat, always being positive and working with them. Quite a few of the entries that I get for these replay competitions, people aren't very nice during the replays, and if I see that, I just don't use the replay. I'm like, oh, okay, I'm going to exclude you from the competition. But Elastic Little Brother seems to be a nice guy here as well. So he's waiting for Dr. Death in his Hetzer to advance to help him out, and hopefully they're going to dig out this T-82, which managed to derp the guy in the center. So right now, what I would be thinking is that the T-82 is probably located somewhere around here or somewhere around here, because as soon as they tried to cross the bridge, he derped them. So he can use that to his advantage. I don't like what he's doing here with smashing those rocks down, but that's okay. If I was him, I would like to try and get into some of these bushes and to activate my binoculars. I don't like the fact that he's going around the west of this building here. It leaves him very open, but maybe he's just hoping that his camera rating is good. If I was him, what I would do is I would locate in one of those bushes and encourage the Hetzer to cap. Okay, now he's got to be careful. Probably don't want to go into one of the bushes now, because if I was the enemy T-82, I would blind fire at them. Also, I would not gravitate around this Churchill 3. Because the enemy could blind fire the Churchill 3 as well. Especially with having if he's got the 105 on the T-82, then he can very easily just derp in some HE shells and interrupt you from range. So Elastic Little Brother has his camouflage net on and his binocular setup. There's almost no chance that the T-82 will spot him first. And there we go. Oh god, it didn't take his tracks off. Oh, here comes the T-82. But Elastic Little Brother is making some good hits. And Dr. Death manages to take out the Hetzer, which denies Elastic Little Brother the 10th kill. But the Valentine AT, aka Elastic Little Brother, still says good job to his teammate as well at the end. So that's nice. It's not like, screw you noob, you took my 10th kill. And he didn't beg for the kill or anything. He just said good job to him. He was really just in it to win it. And this is a fantastic result. So let's take a look at some post-game stats. So Elastic Little Brother got a huge game, one of the biggest games I've ever seen in a tier 3 tank. Getting over 3,000 experience with a premium account. It was just crazy. I think you could get a mastery badge with probably a third of this. I'm not even kidding you. What a huge game in a tank that I've never seen before. And thank you so much, Elastic Little Brother, for showing me how it played. So Elastic Little Brother was able to do 3,000 damage there, more than the rest of his team combined. It's an absolutely huge game where he picked up 9 kills and got over 2,000 base experience in a tier 3 tank. That's simply incredible. In an EXP replay competition such as this, usually the sweet point starts at tier 6 to tier 7. An elastic little brother really blew the competition out of the water with his low tier entry. And that's why I'm showing it. Thank you so much for this game. It was a really, really good effort. You had some moments where you misaimed, but I would probably misaim too with this terrible 57mm. It looked really hard to shoot with, but all in all, your flanking was strong. And your teamwork was strong as well, with Dr. Death at the end. Thank you so much for this replay, and a shout out to you on the Southeast Asia server. And hopefully I did you justice with the commentary. Okay, so let's move along. Now we're going to be looking at a game in the ISU 152. That's right, some more BL10 action.
Let's go.
Hey, so now we're looking at the ISU 152. We're looking at a game on mines. This is Dex022. Thank you so much for your replay. And you're going to show us just how devastating the BL10 gun is on the ISU 152. Dex seems to be testing out his new mouse wheel here, zooming in and out, back and forth. So I'm going to just speed this up a little bit till we can get in position and see how the game develops. So a game on mines. It's a very interesting setup where the enemy have got 4 tier 9 tanks, quite a few tier 7s, but the majority are tier 8s. So, as per usual, the medium tanks have started with the initial rush up onto the hill. And that's where you like to start in the ISU 152, shaving off half the health of an equal tier heavy tank. Now we see an IS advancing up the slope. Not sure if Dex is able to make that hit. He wants to be going for these IS-3s right now. So the enemy have taken the hill. His platoon mate in the T-34 is looking after the east. We'll clarify that this map has been changed now in 8.10. So the kind of stalemate engagements that you see on the east are not quite as frequent, or at least they pan out differently. So Dex was able to put another huge shot in on an IS-3 there, reducing that one to 50% health as well. And that really is what the BL-10 is good for. That's an equal tiered tank, and equal tiered tanks, when you shave it down to half health, that's just brutal. Has to probably be one of the best guns tier for tier in the game on the ISU 152. So interestingly, the game is developing with a lot of the heavy tanks situated in the middle of the map. Dex makes a good hit there on the enemy IS-3, finishing him off. And we can see just how good the rate of fire is on the ISU 152. Not only does it have 750 alpha damage, it has excellent rate of fire as well there. So those two IS-3s are the only tanks that have died so far on the enemy team. Both killed by Dex. Both basically 2-hit by Dex as well. Absolutely brutal. You cannot go wrong with the ISU 152 and the BL-10. So now he's looking for the T-44. Wow, that's a high roll. 914 damage there. So one thing that's interesting is he's reversed behind the bushes. I think this is because he wants to be able to shoot through the bushes without getting spotted. Oh, he blind fires but does not make the kill. Interestingly, the T-71 randomly... Don't know. I don't know. Okay. That's fine. Keep cool and carry on. Make a kill on the T-44. No idea what that T-71 was thinking. Randomly drives into the ISU 152 and then shoots him as well. But thankfully, it looks like he shot him in the mantlet. So, ISU 152 does not care. Oh, okay, a ricochet off the T-34. And he gets spotted as well. Shots rain in, and he starts to pull back. Now, one thing you guys need to know about the ISU 152, if you're engaging one, is that you do not want to shoot this gigantic mantlet on the tank. It is pretty much an auto bounce. I mean, some really high penetrating shots can go through it. But as you can see underneath the gun, there's sort of a gun support slash an extra thick part of the armor. Which means that, really, if you hit here, it's not good. So when you're tanking in the ISU 152, what you want to do is angle your armor about like this, and try and reverse. The enemies will often try and shoot your tracks and either miss. There's a shot catch here. He misses that shot. And will often hit the mantle as well. So Dex is looking for some more damage here. This T-34 is giving him a little bit of grief with not being able to penetrate his turret. Oh! Beautiful. Whoa, nearly 800 damage, 799 on the side of that T-34. And oh no, I think Dex has now spotted the fact that there's an IS-3 coming down the flank. Gotta watch out for this. He reverses behind the bush. I think to try and retain his camo rating when he fires through it. The IS-8 re-stealths. But there is a Black Prince spotting the IS-8. So bide your time. Or not, because you have to kill a scout tank. Okay, uh-oh. This is perfect play, by the way. Dex angles his tank at about 40 degrees and reverses. The IS-8, just pausing here just to see where the IS-8 shot. It went straight onto the shot catch, so to say, on the front of this tank. There's a very well-angled mid-plate here. It bounced off that, and then it looks like it ricocheted off here and then went off again. Crazy. But the result is the same. Looks like he hit the ground there. That was unfortunate. It would have been very nice to shave some health off that IS-8. Dex angles his tank well to avoid getting shot by the IS-8 again. He's looking after his health really well here. Being opportunistic, going for the shots that count. He's not caring about the scout tank. He's aiming for the IS-8. I guess he thinks that if he goes around to aim at the scout, then the IS-8 will come around the corner at him. Uh-oh, revenge time. Oh my god! He just did a one hit on that tier 9 heavy tank. And that's when you know you're having a good game. 1,700 damage with one shot in the IS-8. Absolutely fantastic. What a blow up. Okay. Wow, the game's really on now for Dex. He must be on an insane amount of damage with that blow up. He's advancing it into a position to try and help his team finish off the enemy. Now, interestingly, the enemy have still got 2 tier 9 tanks left. They're advancing around the corner. Dex is kind of out of position now. He's really in the middle. He's got to watch out, especially because his team are folding. But he keeps calm and makes a kill on the T-29. He gets spotted, so he reverses behind the dip. Aims for the T-54 in case the T-54 comes back for him, so he has an idea where he can shoot him or not. Looks like he's getting glimmers of opportunity on the T-54, but no real confirmed kill. And his team continues to melt around him. So T-44 has advanced down the west and is coming up behind the Su-122-44. Dex decides to pull back because he knows there's a Leopard around the east and then there's a T-54 in the center of the map. He's trying to help out his team against this Su-122-44. Oh no, he's behind the rock. So the Su-122-44 is going after the T-44. And really, that should be an easy kill for the T-44. That Su-122 should be destroyed. You've got to watch out for the DPM on those Su-122-44s. Okay, so now Dex spots the Leopard prototype has been respotted. That means that he can advance now. He thought that the Leopard prototype was still hanging around F7 or even had flanked all the way around, and he could easily do that, going around the buildings and get behind Dex. But now he knows where all the enemies are. He's rushing into position to try and help out the T-44, who is being owned right now by that Su-122-44. So right now, Dex has got to deal with a T-54, a Leopard prototype, and an Su-122-44 that's on full health. The Leopard prototype rushes after the T-44, puts an excellent shot into his side. And that T-44 is just surrounded and outplayed. He didn't do any damage. And the troll nature of the tracks on the side of the ISU bounce a shot there. So, Dex fires one blind there. And his tracks absorb another bit of damage. He repairs his tracks very quickly. And then he sees that the T-54 advances at him. Knowing that he has to make a kill quickly when you're outnumbered, you cannot play passively. You have to secure the kills. And the Leopard prototype puts in a first penetrating shot against him here. Let's see what happened. Looks like it went in right there, just underneath the gun. Quite a lucky penetrating shot for the Leopard prototype. But I'm not sure if I like what Dex is doing here, pulling back. But he's thinking a lot better than I am, because he's advancing around the flank. He obviously thinks that the Leopard prototype is trying to sneak round to come up behind him, and this is a moment where Dex really just wins the game. Comes out round the corner. The Leopard prototype was not ready. Leopard prototype tries to run away, and he clutch shots the hell out of that Leopard prototype. Now, if he had missed, he would have lost. It was a good shot. It was a good shot. It was an important shot, because if he had missed, the Leopard prototype would have come round and shot him twice, or at least once, and then pulled back, and probably secured the game with it. It's a fantastic result there for Dex to fire clutch. And look, just to pause it here quickly, that SU-122-44, who he fired a blind shot at earlier in the game, was left on 9 health after a very high roll, meaning that now it's a one-on-one situation. The SU-122-44 misses. Knowing that he's still got 600 health, Dex knows he can take a shot as long as he doesn't manage to track him in a bad position. He takes the hit, secures the game. Fantastic plays there at the end by Dex. When he doubled on background there, he outthought the Leopard prototype. He took a big chance, but it was totally worth it. He won the game right there with that kill on the Leopard prototype, and a tank which you wouldn't think would be very good for a 1v3 situation at the end of the game against 2 tier 9 medium tanks and an SU-122-44, quite a mobile tank destroyer that's on full health. He proves otherwise. He really managed to secure this game well with his ISU-152. What a fantastic result. And let's take a look at some post-game stats. So Dex is on the EU server. This was his Mastery Badge game, and he picked up the Radley Walters medal as well. It was simply massive. He did a huge amount of damage, as we're about to see. 9,300 damage, as well as his 8 kills. This is one of the biggest results I've ever seen in an ISU-152. He was able to get over 2,000 base experience. It was simply a huge game for him. And thank you so much for submitting the replay. So the true nature of the BL-10 really showed there, the huge amount of alpha damage. He only needs to penetrate 14 shots to do that over 9,000 damage. And unlike the Object 704 replay you saw, where every shot went exactly where he wanted to aim it, Dex did get a bit unlucky at times. He missed a few shots, not necessarily his fault. He took his chances, he fired blind, and the BL-10 on the ISU-152 is not very accurate, so he did remarkably well with the gun, considering the ranges and the chances that he was taking. I love this replay for a few reasons. One was that fabulous blow up on the IS-8, doing 1,700 damage to him with one shot. And then the fact that at the end, the game looked really secure. It looked like Dex and his team were in complete control of the game, and then they completely threw it away. And then Dex, with some very calculated play, managed to outplay 2 tanks that were 1 tier higher than him and a tank which was on full health at the end of the game. It was simply a fantastic result. Thank you so much for submitting this replay. I really enjoyed it. So guys, this was the last runner-up, so to say, of the replay competition. What did you think about this video? Did you like the unusual tier 3 tank destroyer game that we saw? Did you like the brutality of the ISU-152 at tier 8? If you did, tell me what you think in the comments and consider rating the video down below. I'd really appreciate it. Anyway, the next video that you see from the replay competition will be the winner. As always, thank you so much for watching. You've been epic, and hopefully I'll see you soon.